Look, we have a monad, a circle with a dot in the center of it. Uh, the dot represents Hadit, and the circle Nuit. Uh, uh, I think the relationship we develop, um, I'll put this into real simple terms. Think of Hadit as the self, Nuit as everything else. Every person you meet, every thing you see, everything. Uh, who wouldn't want to be in a positive symbiosis with everything? To have their life be a flow and a dance, something wonderful that comes from within and goes without. Uh, the toroid is a great way to imagine this. Um, and shouldn't we want to be prosperous and happy, to have the things we need, within, reason? And I guess I just wanted to talk about this because when we talk about doing our true will, um, your true will be reflected in the world while you're alive. That, I mean, it might be after that too, but that's what you have now to work with. And all this spiritual work you do is going to involve life and the flow of life. And if you can't let go in that process, if you're holding your hand too hard, then just knowing your will not get you through life. Even if you did know it, you wouldn't understand how to move with that, how to cultivate that, like cultivate your garden, you know. The things that get in our way of doing that is usually fear, fear that we can't is a common fear. You might come into contact with a really great idea for yourself, what you should do, and have all kinds of reasons you don't do it. And these self-limiting beliefs, they develop over time, and it's because the mind is a mechanism. It just tries to figure out the most easy and convenient way to get through life safely. And it doesn't really care about your emotional state in that. It will point out every single thing it's afraid of to keep you safe. And it may be paying too much attention, you don't need to know every little problem. But this is just a very normal part of consciousness, along with seeking indulgences and seeking connection. These are all normal parts of consciousness. But they can, any part of consciousness, any instinct, can get you in trouble. Any imbalance forces the mind into that train. It starts running off the tracks with all its ideas about this. And if you can just start to step back slowly, usually, you got to start in the present, right? And from the present, you can listen to your thoughts and not take them so seriously. You can understand that your mind is a machine that makes thoughts that are trying to tell you information about the world around you. And the self, the with a capital S behind that, the clear blank self, can look at those thoughts without confirming that it's a good idea, or trying to stop that thought that was a bad thought. You know, just look at them from that place of neutrality. And the mind in that place is fresh again. It's not worried about the last thing it was worried about. You know, am I saying this correctly? Am I doing this correctly? You know, it's more of a, it gets you in tune with it. You know, learning to bend with life, learning to go with the flow a little bit, keeps you from being brittle and snapping. And if you're consumed with your own train of thoughts on whatever it's trying to stop from happening, usually, you know, that's what fear is. You're not going to be cultivating that relationship anymore. Between Hadit and Nuit, you're going to be trying to protect yourself. Oh, the world is against me, you know. Well, you know, just because one circumstance that might really exist, generally that's not going to be your entire life. You know, everyone else is a constellation too, and they want to be part of your true will, and you want to be part of their true will. Is what's at the bottom of everything. Everybody wants to encourage and help each other. You know, when you're caught up in fear, you find ways to push people away, or you might even try to, like, you know, whatever. You know, the mind places us at the center of our world, right? And I'm not saying that you're not the center of your world. You are. You are. And finding your true will does have something to do with that, figuring out what works for you. But when you do, you're gonna want that to you're gonna want to have comprehension that that getting your true will is a relationship, a symbiosis with the environment around you. You couldn't be the greatest whatever, or the most perfect whatever kind of person you could imagine yourself being. Well, maybe a monk, totally alone. It wouldn't make sense, you know. Unless your true will is to be a monk, it's probably going to involve the world. And even then, wouldn't you have to figure out where you got your food, and do you tend to the stream, you know, or whatever? You know, you exist in the world, in life, and your connection with that is going to be part of your true will. I can tell you that right now, and that living in the present and seeing this life as a real gift, which it is. Some people think life is inherently bad because it does include suffering. You will suffer if you are alive. You will have headaches and backaches, and you'll worry about things and stuff. That's part of it. But that doesn't make life bad. Life is more than the good day and the bad day. That's why they have the checkered floor on the floor of Freemason halls. It's black and white. You know, it's back and forth. It's checkered, but you're just walking right across. You know, there's a part of the consciousness that is past just, you know, the principles of satisfying our desires or making us feel safe all the time. You know, and we're capable. We're more capable of accomplishing our true will if we can get over fear, resentment, anxieties, and also just taking our own little desires too seriously sometimes, you know, indulgences and stuff. But um, all these parts of consciousness are normal just to keep you alive, to keep you moving. You know, you're supposed to get hungry, but you're not supposed to crave McDonald's at 3 a.m. That's a manufactured desire. That's um, been built into you probably since childhood, you know. So learn to sense these parts of yourself as they arise, whatever they are. And I'm not saying you have to go be a perfect person, but try to catch on to the channels that seem to be going where you want to go, you know, and be strong enough to say no to any part of yourself. Then you can have your true will. That's all I got. I'm gonna let this make it to 11:11 if I can. 8, 9.